a series of misbehavior, issues, and a growing reputation for bad attitude that has cost Grizzlies $126 million, they have traded off Ja Morant, the very face of the Grizzlies.
The NBA, the Grizzlies suspended Ja Morant for one game yesterday for conduct detrimental to the team.
Morant responded in what the team deemed an inappropriate and dismissive way, according to sources.
Here is what no one is talking about. Ja went ahead to fire his manager, Jim Tanner, and is raging behind the scenes and has refused to move to the foreign league he was sent to. But what led to all these?
Do you feel like, there was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You ask him. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, it did, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay.
You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff.
The Stein line broke the story that changed everything. Ja Morant made it very clear he does not want to get traded, telling management he wants to stay.
We've got breaking news out of the NBA where the Grizzlies are entertaining trade offers for Ja Morant.
But the reality is brutal. There isn't a huge market for him. Memphis can't find a trade they could sell to their fans. And here's the part that destroys Ja's leverage. He wants to stay, but also wants to have more say like he used to. The franchise does not revolve around Ja Morant anymore like it used to.
And I asked one current NBA coach if he would like to coach Ja Morant, and he's not. And he said, I'm not sure I'd want to.
Mark Stein's report reveals multiple teams around the league believe Memphis is genuinely ready to move on from Jay.
That value has gone down over the last couple months as he hasn't improved. So the Grizzlies right now are in the lottery.
ESPN's Bobby Marks explained the contract details that make this complicated. Jay is making $39.4 million this season and has $173.5 million remaining on his deal through 2027 to 2028. He has a 15% trade kicker, meaning his salary increases if he gets dealt. Any team trading for Ja takes on that massive financial commitment while knowing about his history of suspensions, injuries, and locker room conflicts.
Ja Morant has been declining for the last couple of years. He doesn't get to the rim quite as much as he used to, doesn't get to the foul line quite as much as he used to.
The Athletic's NBA Rewind dug into why opposing teams aren't rushing to trade for Ja. His reliability isn't guaranteed anymore.
He has a bloated max contract, 2 years left. Trae Young only has the one after this year. Never been a great defender, all sorts of off-court issues. He's just a very risky trade candidate.
3 major suspensions in recent years, constant injury issues, and documented problems with coaches and teammates have scared away potential suitors. The teams that could afford his contract don't want the baggage. The teams willing to take a chance on him can't build a competitive trade package Memphis would accept. Earlier this season, Ja admitted he was losing his joy to play basketball.
You feel like you get the same joy right now that we used to see from you?
No.
Why not?
Now he's changed his tune completely. That flip tells you everything about his desperation. When Memphis was willing to build around him, he complained about not having fun anymore. The second they put him on the trade block, suddenly he wants to stay and fight for the franchise. But it's too late. The damage is done. In November 2025, the breaking point happened when Ja publicly disrespected head coach Thomas Isalo after a Lakers loss. Coach Isalo challenged Ja's effort and leadership. Ja responded in a tone the organization deemed inappropriate.
If I had a good relationship, I wouldn't talk to him at all. So, and we had our combos over the years.
Memphis suspended him 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. But the most important decision came next. The Grizzlies front office sided with the coaching staff over their franchise player. That decision sent a clear message to the entire league. Memphis will no longer prioritize Ja Morant over coaches, teammates, or organizational stability.
It does seem like there might be a few interested parties, because if you could just hone that talent, if you could just get him on the right track, maybe figure out physically what's wrong, get him back into the right shape, get him back up to where he's been in the past, you have a guard who gets to the rim at will, and that's just so valuable, even in this NBA that's moving away from small guards.
The Stein line report confirmed this shift. Morant wants to stay and continue to get superstar treatment like the past few years when everything was about him as the franchise player. But that era is over. The Grizzlies told him he must be content with having less power than he did at his peak.
The Memphis Grizzlies have suspended guard Ja Morant for 1 game for, they say, conduct detrimental to the team.
Front Office Sports broke down Memphis's financial nightmare. The Grizzlies face a $126 million-dollar problem after Ja's latest suspension. They're paying him max money for minimum reliability. His injury history compounds the issue. Few losing seasons and his availability not being guaranteed have destroyed his trade value. Teams that might have taken a chance on his talent 2 years ago are now looking at a player who can't stay healthy, can't stay out of trouble, and can't coexist with coaching staffs. The Grizzlies have about 2 weeks left to decide their long-term future before the February 5th trade deadline passes.
It does seem like there's a slightly bigger market for Ja Morant than there was Trae Young, but that value has gone down over the last couple months as he hasn't improved. So the Grizzlies right now are in the lottery. I don't know that they can expect a huge return here, but I think it's the right move. I think they needed to move in another direction. They just haven't been going anywhere this season.
Mark Stein's sources indicate Memphis is actively shopping Ja, but finding almost no serious interest. This leaves 3 possible outcomes. Memphis finds a desperate team willing to overpay and takes whatever they can get. The deadline passes with no deal, and Ja stays in Memphis with even less power than before. Or Memphis waits until summer, when more teams have cap flexibility, and tries again. On January 19, 2026, the Grizzlies played the Orlando Magic in London as part of the NBA's international games. Ja scored 24 points and helped Memphis win. After the game, reporters asked about his loyalty to Memphis amidst trade rumors. Ja gave all the right answers about wanting to stay and believing in the franchise.
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
Do you think you have a good relationship with the franchise?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah.
But his performance and words didn't move the needle with Memphis's front office. The Athletics report makes clear that one good game won't fix years of problems. Opposing teams watch that London performance and still aren't picking up the phone to make serious offers. They see a talented player drowning in red flags. Mark Stein's sources say the franchise does not revolve around Ja anymore, and nothing he does on the court will change that reality. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are both extremely talented players.
And then do you think that you will be with the team past the trade deadline?
I'm the only one you asked that question to.
Oh no, but I mean,
Who
you're
else you
in front of
asked?
the microphone too.
Who else you asked?
I'm talking to the people who run the team.
What they said.
You gotta let me type the story first.
But neither feels like franchise cornerstones Memphis can build around long-term with all the trade rumors circulating. Memphis is currently in the play-in race with a chance to make the postseason if they stay healthy. But the ceiling is low. There's no path toward contending for an NBA championship like the franchise hoped just a few years ago. The report from the Stein line indicates the weak trade market could force Memphis to stand pat and keep Morant for the rest of the season. But what does that look like? A franchise player who publicly begged not to be traded, playing for an organization that tried to move him and failed. A max contract star stripped of all decision-making power, forced to accept whatever role coaches assign him. A locker room where everyone knows management sided with the coaching staff over the team's best player. Mark Stein's sources believe opposing teams may not be able to swindle Memphis now that things are trending slightly more positively.
You know, talked to a couple GMs who told me like last summer, every player on the Grizzlies was available for trade. That includes Ja and Jaren. Certainly curious to me that the Orlando Magic were able to make a trade with the Grizzlies. They got Desmond Bane, which made it apparent that they could have got Ja Morant and decided not to. 40 execs I talked to today said they really have no interest in trading for him.
The Grizzlies aren't desperate enough to give Ja away, but they're also not committed enough to rebuild trust and empower him again. That leaves everyone stuck in the worst possible situation. Ja Morant has a Grizzlies logo tattooed on his back.
Anybody in here knows me. I'm a very loyal guy. I got a logo on my back, so that should tell you exactly where I live.
He got it during his peak years when Memphis loved him and he thought he'd retire there. Now that tattoo represents loyalty. The franchise no longer reciprocates.
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
Do you think you have a good relationship with the franchise?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
Yahoo Sports pointed out the painful irony. The player with Team Inc. permanently marking his body is the same player Memphis is actively trying to trade. As the February 5th trade deadline approaches, Ja sits in limbo. Memphis shops him to teams that aren't interested. The franchise he desperately wants to stay with has already moved on emotionally, even if they're stuck with him financially. And the player who once had everything now has to accept being treated like a role player making max money with zero organizational power.
Be a leader!
Drop a comment with where you think Ja ends up. Does Memphis find a trade this summer, or is he stuck in Memphis for the next 2 years knowing they don't want him?